Well, welcome everyone. So we're first going to be watching the first match. The first match we're going to be watching is in the under 26. This is the first round of the round robin. We're going to be watching Team Brezak and Team Yeung. And joining me on commentary, Li-Chung Chen. Li-Chung Chen is a current USBF junior mentor. He is one of the most passionate junior mentors I know when it comes to being invested in his students or his mentees. Like anytime if you go on BBO, there's a reasonable chance you might find him online, and he's on a table, and like his mentees are at a table, and our mentees are at the same table, and he's just with them, helping them, improve on card play, improving on bidding. He's very good also about getting feedback about like what can be done better from other experts
Mm.
to make sure that his mentees get the best advice there is. And I also know this because he also has done a lot for me personally. He's not my direct junior like USBF appointed mentor, but he has helped me a lot. Talk with me over my pairs performances and various other performances about like here's what happened and here's what you could have done better. He's also going to be one of the main reviewers in the USBF Junior Selection Committee we alluded to earlier for the pair selection event. So he will have a role in deciding the U16 and the Rona final participants who represent the USA internationally. He also has a lot of top finishes in NABC Plus events. Also, having come even third place in the Platinum Pairs in 2016, which is the premier USA pairs event. And well, I've been trying to convince him to come back to in-person bridge, so this might be a good start for that. So, welcome, Li-Chung. How are you doing?
Hi, glad to be here.
And I also see we have Robbie. We have someone else who joined the wheels who would also just joined the commentary desk. Welcome, Robert West. Robert West is a former USBF under 26 junior. He actually played in this in the last time. Now he's currently in the under 31 program. He's actually a former Georgia Tech student himself. One of the biggest system peaks I know. If you go to Bridge Winners and are looking up for system discussion, you can probably find this person's posts. He played a customized strong diamond. Now he's switched over to a strong club because he's seen the light. He's also been one of the best commentators we've had on stream. We've had him multiple times on stream before. He's also been a lead commentator. He hosted the Georgia Tech in-person collegiate regionals, which happens every February, something to look out for. Over the past 2 years, he was also the lead commentator of the clean old-fashioned hate, which is the Georgia Tech versus UGA matchup we had earlier this month. Welcome, Robert.
That was a very generous introduction. Do I sound like I'm coming to y'all from like 10,000 feet underwater or anything like that?
Oh no, your audio sounds fine to
Okay,
me.
that's good.
Although I am interested in all the math behind you.
That is not mine. So I am in a University of Georgia math building. I was supposed to be in my bridge partner Matt's office, but it was locked. So thanks to my friend Drew for getting me a computer at the last minute.
Uh,
I'm super excited to join y'all for this.
Absolutely. Thank you for.
I was looking at this auction. I just missed it. Is one club? What is one club? It's alert.
One
Is
club,
it just
actually, I was
short?
about to point that out. So, one club is actually a strong club. So, this comes down to, I believe, I'm not sure if South missed the alert and they're playing different methods over a strong club, or if they just are playing like systems on over a strong club. What are your both thoughts on playing a strong no trump overcall over a strong club opening? Or, yeah.
Maybe most people have some special methods over the one club, both because it's strong and artificial. It looks like this cell has a strong no trump. It might have intended it as a strong no trump. Um, but most
Yeah,
people,
I
yeah.
definitely don't think it's. I definitely don't think it's advisable to bid a strong no trump naturally over strong club. It's just sort of asking to get X'd or go for a negative score. Um, Even if you make it, I mean, just the expected value of the call is just so bad. Like anytime with the strong club pair gets to W anytime it's right, it's just not a good time for a natural no trump.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And like you alluded to, usually a lot of PR players they will have a different set of agreements instead of the natural one no trump over calls, the natural over calls that they might play over a strong club. like one of the most common agreements you see is like one no trump actually being sort of two suited, like where it might show the minors or where it might show hearts and clubs or maybe non-touching suits of some sort. And double is usually like showing a different type of hand. Like maybe it might be the majors, maybe it might be like another separate set of two suits, or maybe it might be some specific single suitor. Um, like you might play suction, you might play matty, you might play crash. There are a lot of methods available, and it seems like West just sort of paused over here at
Yeah.
both tables actually.
So, Cyrus here. I was gonna chime in on this. So, it looks like one match is playing on right now, but all the other matches are in various states of being paused or unstarted. Um, I just got a note from Jan Martel at the USBF a few minutes ago that the second and third rounds today will be delayed by half an hour from when they were originally scheduled. So this might be related to that, just getting the information out to the players. Um, so right now we're just kind of waiting. If you all like, I can try to get you over to the one match that is in progress, or if you feel like you've got more to chat about now, we can just stay here and wait for play to resume, which hopefully it should any minute.
I think
I
it's
would
okay to wait.
I would like. Oh, sorry. I mean, if we can see bridge, that's always cool. But I would like to just ask some questions about the general event. I've been so busy today. I don't know, like what is the general? Who are the favorites? Like, what's the field looking like this year?
Of course. I actually covered this briefly on stream as part of my introduction before you joined, but for also any new viewers who might be joining us on the Viewgraph Love Bridge, the format is we're going to be focusing primarily on the Brona pairs, so the under 26 women's and the under 26 Open. For the under 26 Open, which we're watching right now, there are 9 teams which have entered. There's gonna be 1.5 days of round robin. Today's a half day because we started late. Tomorrow's gonna be one on a whole day. 8 teams will advance to the next stage. One team will be eliminated. The top 4 teams will contest USA one in a knockout. First place will get their choice between third and fourth place of who they want to face in the semifinals. While they also have the option to choose a second place team in the round robin if the second place team volunteers themselves to be selected. The semifinals for USA one will be a day long, and then the final will be a 2 day affair, and then whoever wins gets USA one. Meanwhile, in the USA two bracket, the fifth to eighth place teams in the round robin will only be eligible for USA two. So first, those 4 teams will face each other in like a head-to-head knockout for one day. So there's only going to be one matchup, and that's going to be determined by random draw. Now, 2 teams will survive. Those 2 teams will be joined by the 2 losing semifinalists of the USA One bracket. Now, the USA One semifinalist who lost but has the higher but had the higher placement in the round robin, they will get the choice of who they get to face in what will be the USA Two quarterfinals. And so now there will be 4 teams now. So now there'll be quarterfinals. That'll be a 1 day affair. That'll now become 2 teams. And now those 2 teams will face the next day in a 1 day match. And then one team will be left. And now on the final day, that one team will be joined by the loser of the USA One final. And those 2 teams will battle it out for the opportunity to play for USA Two. In the Rona category, there are 11 pairs which have entered. It's basically double round robin. So first, it's going to be 2 days of round robin starting tomorrow. 8 pairs will advance, and then those 8 pairs will play 2 more days of round robin. First place partnership will become USA one. The next two will become one of USA one or USA two, and the remaining 3 partnerships will be chosen based on a selection committee based on various criteria. Li-Chung is actually part of that committee.
That was an extremely lucid description of the format, because why I say that is I actually followed it and I never understand how these things work at all. So thanks for that.
Yep.
It sounds like in U26, especially, the matches are immediately really important. I mean, if you need to get top 4 to have a chance at USA one, and that's decided by the round robin phase. That's a big deal.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Because like you said, like you alluded to, if you're like one of the fifth to eighth place teams, you've got to win first. You've got to win one. You got to win first the initial KO stage, then you got to win the quarterfinal matchup, then you got to win the semifinal matchup. You got to win four continuous KO matches in a row to go from fifth to eighth place stage to being the USA two. And you also have no. You also have like no yeah, also you also have no like fallback option. Like if you're USA one, you can still afford to lose a match, and like you won't be USA one, but you still have the chance to travel and like still represent the US. So that's gonna be like there's gonna be a really tight race, I imagine, between fourth and fifth place. That's gonna be one of the bubbles. Then the eighth to ninth place will be one of the bubbles. So I expect to see a lot of fighting around this area as the event progresses.
Looks like one no Trump got undooed. Is that really happening?
There might have been an issue with the alerts. It does still seem like it appears like on the in the bidding on the left, if you see that. But I'm not sure if that's like a. I'm not sure if that's like a view. Is that if that's a view graph log bridge error or something else?
Yeah, I've
But
never
I assume
seen.
it's
Well, it looks
Yeah, I've
like we
never seen
finally
it
got a
bit.
little bit of action at the other
Okay.
table. So if we'd like to
Yeah.
switch, we
yeah. That'd be
can
perfect.
head there.
All right.
So it
So
looks like. Go
I'm
ahead.
wondering if, in fact, there was an issue with the deal set, since we're seeing now that North didn't open a club. In fact, North has a very weak hand and passed, and that would explain also with the
Oh
other table why we have. No, no, I'm sorry. I'm being that was
no
entirely
no
silly.
you're
The hand's the same.
that's the same
Yeah.
yeah.
Although the one club was corrected to a 1-0, I believe at this table.
Mhm.
well, I think it's because you swapped the tables. Okay, but at any rate, the other table had a natural auction. One of Trump presumably is some kind of a strong no Trump, 15-17, and then West just transferred to spades and then pass it out. I think South possibly had a decision over two spades. They could have doubled for takeout, um, but maybe it's a little scary because um, West is unlimited and could easily just double you off, and your partner is a pass 10, which makes it less likely that your side has a game. Not impossible. So, and also you have to compete to the 3 level. So probably pass is advisable at imps, but it is not a it is a possible consideration to try to compete over 2 spades. But he recently passed, so they get to 2 spades.
White on white, I think competing
Yeah,
is fine.
absolutely. They might have also had the opportunity to double a no trump if they played penalty oriented doubles of a no trump. But I mean, we do not know what North South's methods over a defensive no trump is. That is not part of the publicly shared notes we have on their bidding systems, unfortunately. But yeah, like you said, even if they did not play a penalty double, they had the opportunity to make a takeout double. With only 3 hearts, that's also a strong reason for maybe considering pass over doubling. Either way, they had an interesting choice of lead.
Yeah, their hand also looks very defensive. Like you've got the kings over, probably the tennises and the east hand, and I mean, especially in imps, I think pass is super reasonable.
Yeah, but they didn't. They also had a lead problem because nothing looks particularly attractive to lead from. Um, Generally, don't want to lead away from an ace without the king. Um, King fifth is okay, but you're looking into the strong no trump, and the jack double turn of spades is also not great. But they led the jack, which this time did not blow a trick, so probably mission accomplished.
The choice to play the Jack of Clubs is very peculiar. I assume that might have been intended as like odd count, maybe. Maybe they're playing like upside down count and attitude, and from Ace Jack 6, they felt they couldn't play the 6, but the Jack might have solved a problem for Declare.
The switch to the diamond is very bold, um, given that dummy.
So it looks like Declare won the diamond, now is pitching a heart to avoid losing potentially three hearts.
I mean, good stuff to Declare. I do think South had some hard choices on this one that they this time didn't necessarily get right. I think rather than when they get in, it seems like you want to switch to a heart, right? Like the King of Hearts is always going to be offside. It seems like you want to switch to some heart and make them guess immediately.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
with East
agree.
being strong no trump hand, it's fairly likely that East has the ace, so the diamond is not going to set up a trick probably, and easily could be leaking the ace queen. Whereas if you lead a heart, if East does not have the jack of hearts, they might even duck it if you don't. You could lead the ace or lead the queen even, and sometimes Declare will duck, although not this
Oh,
time
this
with
is really
dummy.
funny. Um, because what do you call it? Declared actually end played themselves on this club because if North had just not roughed simply, I mean,
Yeah.
they could have they could have also exited a spade as it turns out, but I'm curious if they would have found that. But when North volunteered to rough, like there was no way to go wrong at that point.
We didn't
Um,
even discuss this, but I mean, what do you think of how the bidding went of just transferring to spades? I don't know if I would have done that.
what would you be considering?
Well, I mean, what is the range on one no Trump? Is it like 17 to 19?
It was 15 to 17. It was a
Oh,
no
okay.
trump opening. This is a two or one
Okay.
partnership.
Okay.
This wasn't a one club one no. No. This is not a
Okay,
17 to
sorry.
19 no trump.
No, I'm not suggesting inviting with that. My bad.
All right. I do want to call out, meanwhile, at the secondary table, Wonder Trump is back on the bidding. We also see that West has alerted the pass of the no Trump. My guess is this might. Honestly, I'm not even sure what pass. I'm not sure what the defense would be over a strong no Trump. I would feel like double would show values usually here. So, Cyrus, would you be able to switch to the other table and probably get an alert on what the pass might be?
I like the pass by South at the table we just switched from, though. But
0 to 7, any hand, apparently.
I mean,
I
is
hope they're
that
on the
is that
same
hand
page.
you absolutely double when they overcall no Trump with two kings? I mean, you blood, blood, blood. Even I mean, that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah, because now here's the funny thing, right? If North passes, does East actually probably has to pass it out, right? Like they're a minimum basic. They're basically a minimum. They're a 17 count balanced in the context of strong club.
I would definitely pass. Yeah, this isn't a hand I would get back into it.
So the funny thing is, we all a lot. One of the biggest like problems a lot of players solve, try to struggle with, especially what do you call it, as your newer player, is oh no, the opponents have opened a strong club. How do I interfere in the auction without going for a number myself, while also disrupting whatever relay or whatever systems they might have, putting them in uncomfortable territory. Not often that a strong no trump overcall is the answer, but if you're not double, it's going to work out.
Yeah, apparently it was this time. I mean, I think this is one of the hands you would like to bid just overcall a diamond over a strong one club. There's not really many hands like that actually because it gives space to the strong club side, which is dangerous. But here you have a really strong hand with some diamonds, and I don't know. I think one diamond's okay with this one.
Evan in chat is asking, I wonder what their strong club defense is. That Wonder Trump is natural. I think either one, they might have missed the alert, or two, they might just be. Please note that North South are newer players compared to maybe the rest of the field. So it might be that they just played the same system as they were to play against a 2 or 1 partnership, and they didn't bother to vary that much.
And eventually, the 1 Trump has an alert, but originally did not have an alert. So I'm wondering whether it was actually an alert or not. It's a little strange. because it sure looks like it was intended to be a strong natural.
Um, yeah. What do you think about the choice to lead a club on this auction? Once the table loads again.
I mean, I think any league could work because if East is unlimited, is fairly unlimited, although they probably wouldn't pass with the strong hand. Um, they could have a lot of different things, but most of the time they probably have some kind of balanced strong hand, which I think would argue for attacking your long suit because partner rates to have some mount support. But clubs is stronger than spades, so I can understand that you might attack your strongest suit.
What about you, Robert? If you have any thoughts?
Oh, on the lead,
Yeah.
I do think a spade's right. Um, yeah, I think a spade's right. So normally with a hand like this, your spade suit's so bad, you often wouldn't want to lead a spade. Um, oh, and we see the jack play. That's fun. But I mean, you've got two kings. Like it's not a normal hand for like you have two entries with 6 high card points pretty much on this auction. So I think a spade is right.
The Jack
Yeah,
of Hearts is an interesting switch.
yeah, with the two kings, you hope that you have enough entries to set up and run your spades. Whereas if you are broke, then leaving your weak long suit, you might set up and not be able to catch it. So there's more going for it when you have some values. But the jack of spades might well have convinced East that South is going after spades, not West.
Yeah, the jack of spades is almost it's a little bit kind of like a Zia-ish play where you're kind of attacking a suit you have weakness in, but the other purpose of it is to try to establish an entry to dummy. Um, but it's weird because South only has 2 spades, so they should never be able to do that. So it's weird. It's a strange play.
Yeah. So the other thing about not linking your longest suit is that partner might not figure out that you have a longer suit and get confused.
I'm also just generally confused on the 2 of spades. I mean, are they what carding are they playing? I just feel like Alan would always play
Let me
upside down
check
carding.
that. They are playing standard remaining count. No, they're playing standard count on declares lead. So they're playing
Okay.
upside down attitude, but standard count.
Okay.
So the 2 is consistent with an odd count. But the funny thing is,
Unfortunately, West has lost all the entries to set up their spades at this point.
yeah, this comes back to the whole idea of leading spades, leading our limp suit, and we could have always gotten back in with our king and cashed the spades and cashed 2 spades. But
Here's another thing. What happens if West doubles? Because West should definitely double on this hand. I mean, where do they get to? They end up in 2 diamonds down like 3 or something. I don't know.
probably right.
It sounds like
Assuming
their
that they
methods. Yeah, it sounds like their methods force them to pass with 0 to 7. So if those are your methods, then you go by that. I would think.
yeah, that definitely is a weak. That feels like a weak spot, which was just exposed in their methods. It's also one of the big reasons why I'm not a big fan of double showing of pass showing specifically this number of points and on double showing 5 to 6, which I believe is something a lot of precision pairs do. Wait, could we see what the result was? I think it just skipped
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry, I just like violently exclaimed I was muted, but this 4 diamonds call second vulnerable? I mean, wow.
No, you just had hope that North doesn't bet 5 diamonds. King Queen third of trump. It might be very tempting.
I mean, you think as North, I would think King Queen small of diamonds is worthless on this auction. Queen X worthless. So my hand is just garbage for defending for spades.
I agree. The question is your hand good in five diamonds with king, queen, third of diamonds, and very little shape?
I mean, I guess they must have seen their partner bid before.
Yeah, they were happy passing pretty quickly.
I mean, I would, the other table just passed the south hand, which I think makes sense. Second red, one of the most dangerous preempting positions in bridge, but
Mhm.
south just went for it for sure.
Yep. Meanwhile, South is overtaking the king of diamonds with the ace, switch to their singleton. Seems like a reasonable defense, but it looks like they're probably going to lose just a heart and a club. They're probably going to get the spade queen correct just because of it's going to drop, and also because South did preempt.
Yeah, you normally finesse north for the queen here, and here it's just gonna drop anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can actually avoid a hard loser because the clubs will set up for a hard pitch if you
That
time it
too.
correct if you time it correctly. But that would just be for over trick.
That I'm still not over the four diamond call.
Okay, that is concerning. That is a bit
Oh,
concerning. I don't
I don't
understand
I
the
don't understand why
reasoning.
you'd ever play the king there. Maybe they're just thinking they're always playing for the drop, so they're. But just to be clear to people watching, you want to finesse on this auction. You want to finesse north for the queen because of vacant spaces. So north has, just in general, playing for a 2-2 drop. It's really close to just taking a finesse. You're gonna have the drop of the queen about a little over half the time. So when you have a little bit of extra information, it's usually good to take another line. So in this case, we know South has way more diamonds, so it's significantly more likely that North has the queen of spades. Yeah.
I think this is not necessarily terrible because the heart looks like a singleton to me, given that a club shift also looks pretty attractive opposite that dummy. So if you give South a singleton heart, then the vacant spaces are not that far apart. So I can understand not finessing North because that would give South two singletons, which they might have for the four diamond opening. But I think it's closer because of the heart situation.
That's a really insightful point. Yeah.
Mhm.
But North gives them a roughest love, so they got the overtrick anyways.
Yeah.
Four diamonds for the North South pair. I'm still not over it. It's such a worrying call playing imps. I'm sorry. Like, if you bid like this versus some people, you're going to get like obliterated. It's going to be scary.
There are times when preempting this slide could work. Second seed unfavorable is probably the seed in which you want to be the most sound with your preempts. You want to joke the least because your right hand opponent is already a past hand, so the points are more probabilistically going to be with your partner than it was if you were first chair. And unfavorable means like you're vulnerable. You're going 100. You're going down a minus 100 in an under trick, and it's going to be minus. It increases if you're doubled, whereas it's halved if you are non-vulnerable. And when they're non-vulnerable, that means they're less likely to be pushing as much. They're more likely to just let you pass it out and let you play it, or to double you, or to let you play a double contract than pulling it to bid one what might be a flimsy game. So you just got to be more sound in those spots, and that is a dangerous hand to preempt, which
So
Robert stated.
East West are playing precision. So what do y'all think of the choice to open a spade versus one club here? Because I personally like a spade better. Just whenever I can open, I never really upgrade one major hands into a club, just because if I can open naturally, I would prefer to do that. But I know many experts don't subscribe to that.
That's a great
Yeah,
question.
yeah. I
I
like the
also
one
play a
speed
strong
opening,
club.
but you play
I like
strong
the
club.
ones.
Go ahead.
I also play a strong club. And I also agree with the one spade opening. That is also something which I've experimented with myself. I've been trying to figure it out myself. Like when do I upgrade into a when do I upgrade these 14 or these 15 counts into a strong club or 14 counts? And the worst thing that usually could happen is something like, like if it goes one club, North just bids three diamonds, pass, and then it goes like four diamonds. And now you can bid four spades. And you can bid four spades, but now you're just sort of guessing, and like already a lot of space has been taken. And especially if you play these methods where like pass is just sort of like I'm less than a game forcing hand, then you're off like partner's gonna pass with so many hands where like opposite where you could be making like for example, give like partner like five spades, like as an extreme example, like five spades, king fifth, five spades, king fifth of spades, king fifth of hearts, or something like that, and that's a six count. They're going to pass with that hand, and you kind of want to be in six spades opposite that hand, and
I
you're not going to learn anything by opening a strong club. So with these kind of shapy hands, it's just better to open the major and then just bid like more like in a 2 or 1 context.
we've had an auction while we've been talking about that. I mean, two diamonds by North, I don't know what people think of two diamonds. It's definitely pretty aggressive. Then we later get the three diamonds by South. South seems to be a very scrappy player. I like three diamonds way more than I like four diamonds earlier, for sure. And then four spades. It seems like a bit much to me. I mean, I'd like to make some sort of game try where it's just like partner. Well, if you have like freaking anything, bid game. I mean, on this auction, like, East hasn't even shown three spades. Like, really, this is a pretty decent dummy, and you're going to go down one most likely.
The question is, are you going down one or more? I'm not. I don't think you're going down one. I think you're going down more.
Well, I think if you play it, is it? I don't know. I just sort of looked at it and it seemed like you could maybe go down one. I mean, you don't have 10 tricks. That I feel confident about.
I
Well,
agree.
well, the defense will probably have to switch to a trump at some point to prevent all the roughs, because otherwise, the north south will lose just one spade, one diamond, and one club.
Yeah. Most likely, I suspect East will be playing a club in this pot, or maybe a diamond, as it is. But if the nine of diamonds is allowed to hold, I think South has a pretty clear trump shift. It looks like Declare is trying to rough the hearts. Partner might have given count with the three and nine of hearts. I noticed that South played the four and then the two of hearts. North played the three and then the nine of hearts. So we might. I'm just going to take a moment just to confirm what their carding is. Um, so they play
He's so
standard count.
close.
They play. Oh, the king of. Oh no, this
Oh boy. Oh boy.
that
Yeah,
was interesting.
yeah, it definitely
This
required a trump shift to beat this. So now this is probably going to make, because
the
West will have no choice but to bang out the ace of spade and
Yeah,
hope something good happens.
the diamond dwarf is free, and it's kind of funny because if South had a slightly better trump like the ten of spades as opposed to the five of spades, they could pitch a heart like they do over here, and then they could overruff this heart. But the nine of spades is going to hold.
this is just a really painful one. As South, you've got to, be aware of what Declare's plan, what is Declare trying to do in this hand, and they're trying to rough hearts. So you have to return the heart. I have some sympathy if North got in, and maybe with I don't know with King Queen tight doesn't want to return a heart. I don't know. You should still return a heart, but South should find the heart. Sorry, the
I
spade.
understand what South was thinking. South was thinking probably like they doubled four spades on the assembly, but they because they have because what they have what in their head is two cashing clubs. Now when they see now, but now all of a sudden it looks like partner might let the king of diamonds, and it looks like the defense like well at least it might have gone a different route. So maybe South followed the initiative to show their partner like hey this is what we need to do. But this comes back to you kind of need to form a you need to form a plan when you're declaring and when you're defending, sort of like a trick one in terms of like what if how am I going to make this contract or how am I going to set this contract? And you need to adapt that plan sort of as more information comes along, as declare plays more cards. Anything you want to kind of talk about that in Legion? Because I think this is something you might have seen a lot too. being a mentor yourself.
Well, I mean, so you can also just maybe figure out what's going on in the hand. With declare, um, well, first of all, declare does seem to be going for hard roughs, but also if you have any club tricks to cash, they're not going to go away because East does dummy does not have any winners to pick club losers on. So if I think my winners are not going away, then I would need to have a reason to cash them. Um, and in all the bidding, it West probably has club shortness, both because they bid a lot and also North did not lead a singleton club, which they might have done sometimes. So there are several clues that the clubs are the way that they are. But at any rate, there's no hurry to cash the clubs because they're not going away. So definitely, the only thing that matters probably is a hard rough. But then you have to read the hand to figure out all of these things.
I agree, and that's something which players will pick up with time, pick up with more experience. It's not something you can. It's not something you just read in a book and you just become the master of it overnight.
So two hearts is now alerted, um, which probably means that it's just a standard two hearts. There are a lot of people who play special system over the double, where you would where you play transfers and two hearts would be a weak raise. But if it's not alerted, then it's
Um,
probably the standard.
so I do. So I just wanted to confirm by looking at their card, and I am correct. And what do you call it? It is correct. So they do play. So per their card, they do play transfers through two major -1 after the opponent's double. So I'm not sure if this was West forgot they played transfers or if West forgot to alert. But either way, that is not the best if in either situation.
I think the utility of, well, we've seen more and more commonly trash methods to raise a major in the situation after double. I think in a precision context, it's less important to that you have a narrow range on your major raises in this context because one major is limited. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a scrappy, just natural two heart raise red, I guess. They make 9 tricks though, right?
They lose two hearts. There's a diamond rough.
Oh, sorry. I was talking about east west and 3 hearts.
Hearts. Yeah, they lose two clubs and two spades. Yeah. Do they need to underlead? They might need to
And a
underlead.
club and a club. They also lose a club in three spades.
What was the switch? Did he switch to a spade voluntarily? I was just
Switch to
checking their
play,
notes for a moment.
but potentially they could have gotten this diamond rough if West was able to give a super reference on the hearts.
It
Yeah,
looks like West did play the 7, but that's really hard to read.
could be
And then
hard
they
to
play the
read.
three, which probably should be super reference for clubs. So if they play the 7 and 6, then East might figure out that West has a king and ace of diamonds and the other diamond rough,
I
which is for an
agree
extra under trick.
because the question is how else are you beating the contract? It doesn't
Well,
look
if
like
partner
It's
has
Sriram
jack of
made
clubs,
that
yeah.
partner has
choice.
jack of clubs and ace of diamonds, then you're beating it. But you
Yeah.
might as well get down 2, I guess.
Oh yeah, it is going down. Excuse me. Um, I assume West is winning the ace of diamonds, and this might just be a love bridge issue. Okay, three spades down one. It looks like we're having some love bridge issues in terms of the cards not being too smooth, but that's fine.
Yeah, I think there's some issues with how the stream is picking up Love Bridge, but I'm confident we can get those fixed out for the next round. So thanks everyone for sticking through us through the technical difficulties. This is our first time ever streaming off Love Bridge. So still a bit of a learning curve, but we'll get there.
Well, here we can see that East West can make 6 spades, and West has a very strong hand, so we will see how they handle this.
All
I
right.
I definitely I don't like pass by the south hand personally. It seems like a hand you want to bid at least one heart.
Well, red on white, you could be a little. You might want to be a little sounder, even third seat. But so it depends on
Yeah,
your opening style on third seat. I
of
think the normal
course.
style, if you don't want to open light, then this is certainly fine not to open.
You're also
Psych
5-3-3 too.
psychologically, part of it is that I just don't want them to be able to open the strong club in fourth when in this with this hand, they're going to open strong club if you pass.
Yeah.
But
All right. They've been studying KK for a long time. Let's see them work their magic. That's not magic.
What does that? What does that even mean?
well, okay, just to be clear. Okay,
This is
what would you have responded with the East hand? Because an ace and a king is usually a positive in this context, right?
It depends. So there are some people. So there are some partnerships which swear by you need to have 8 high card points to give a positive response. Like 8 high card points. The method which I subscribe to, which is what I play with Cyrus, is usually you have 8 points, but you also need to have like control. So like we don't care about queens and jacks as much, but with the 7 count, which has an ace and a king, that's 3 controls. Where the ace is 2 controls, the king is 1 control. That is 100% a game force in our eyes.
Well,
Yeah,
what?
I think this is definitely a positive response. The East hand.
Yeah, they might be following strictly the rule of 8. And I can understand why West might have just decided to bid 4 spades and just call it a day.
I don't think
After
four
that,
spades is right. Even
I,
opposite of negative.
I agree. I mean, I can understand why they chose that. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I can understand their thought process.
Yeah. So
There's lots of hands you make six spades opposite just an ace with the West hand.
Yeah,
like
I
which
think West could have
hands?
definitely given it one heart. Definitely could have been one heart after one diamond. For context, in KK, really one dime heart would show like a really strong hand, even in the context of a strong one club opening, and then they would be able to relay more. Like, I have no doubt West, if West wanted to, West could have figured out that partner had this shape with the ace of spades and the king of clubs. So I think it was just that West did not think enough. Like, I think part of it might be like the stream. It might be the Love Bridge site itself, but it looked like West bit 4 spades pretty quickly, like within less than 5 seconds. Not even not much thinking. So definitely not a fan of that. Li-Chung, you were saying?
Yeah. So right. So I guess as West, I would be thinking about whether a slam could be called even opposite partner's bid, and so give partner a perfect minimum would be just an ace and the queen of diamonds. That would be the perfect minimum, or the perfect hand that's consistent with East bidding. With ace and queen, that's probably not enough for a positive, but that's still a cold slam. So it seems like, especially since you have methods to figure that out, you might as well. Um, like you can always go back to four space later if you don't find what you need. But I do not really see too much harm in investigating.
Yeah, and you had opponents who didn't make it hard on you. So I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for just looking for slam on the hand.
Do we know what happened? So it looks like the other table is meanwhile bidding it. West has opened a strong 2 clubs. Um,
Wow. Okay. I mean, good hand evaluation from them. I mean, I wouldn't open this two clubs to be clear, but this is a very, very, very good hand. That's a 17 count.
I actually like the 2 club opening. I mean, if you count your losers,
Yeah, you have game in your own hand, and you need so little. So this will make it easy for them to bid for sure.
I agree.
I
And I
like
think
I like
actually
the hand
they're better
evaluation.
placed. They're really well placed, I think, to be able to reach 6 spades on this start. If East can give like a 3 spade bid, assuming 4 spades might be like a fast arrival kind of hand, like sort of a pure minimum. If East is able to bid 3 spades and they're able to queue a bit, and if East is able to show like the club king and like some interest, maybe West key cards and they just go.
So what did the two diamonds show? Is it waiting or positive.
Uh, they're playing very simple methods. So my guess would be that two diamonds is just sort of a waiting bet, nothing about controls or
So if
anything.
two times just a waiting bid, then people normally say that if you bid three spades, that's four going, and four spades is kind of like a weak hand, but with support. So it looks. So I'm not sure whether East thought differently, but typically you with a stronger hand, you want to bid three spades to allow yourself more room for cubiting. So four
Force.
spades definitely is very preemptive. But I guess West took it the same way. They show values. All right.
Oh, okay. They're on the same page. I was gonna say, just
Let
agreeing that
let me
four
just
spades by
confirm that.
East seemed like a painful bid. I'm glad they were on the
So
same page about it.
they don't seem to have any notes on their two club opening style, at least in the system summary form. So unfortunately, I do not have an answer on what they're to confirm that two diamonds actually did show was just a default bid. Either way, it looks like they're West is just going to sort of going to throw himself in slam, and he's gonna be rewarded for it with the pretty freaking ridiculous dummy,
Yeah,
a
I mean,
ridiculously good dummy.
the ace of spades is not quite enough, but if East shows some extra values, then they probably have another card elsewhere. King of clubs or queen of diamonds, or even doubleton diamond would be enough for slam. So definitely there are a lot of ways for slam to be very good, as it is here.
Mhm.
Good stuff by the this East West finding slam.
So
So we
Mims back in for the team for Team Brezak.
so if we play a relay system and you miss the slam while the opponent is playing natural system miss the slam, it would make me question why am I playing a relay system in the first place.
Okay,
Yeah,
I mean, great point. And this is why, no matter what system you play, hand evaluation is more important than the system you're playing. Like West had more of the Allen had well, they're both Allen. Okay, so ignore that. But this Allen had more of the wherewithal to be like, this is like the nuts. Like this is a 17-point hand where I need almost nothing to bid six.
can we see what the alert of the double was after one heart at the main table? I
What
That's
was
not
one
popping
diamond,
up.
by the way? I'm not even sure
One
I know.
diamond is just a nebulous opening. I believe in their case it shows at least two. So a double. Wait, a double showed four spades. I know the heart is a transfer.
Yeah, one
Undiscussed.
heart is
Okay.
definitely a transfer.
Yeah, that seemed reasonable. Let me just confirm that their diamond is their one diamond is zero plus diamond. So they play a similar system where wait, what is their two diamond system? What is their two diamond opening?
This seems like
Oh,
seems
they're
like a
playing
tangled.
multi. Oh
This seems
right,
like
so
a
they're playing.
tangled tale we're seeing on this auction.
What was the alert of redouble? I
I
was just
really want to
checking their
see the alert of redouble.
support oriented takeout of spades. Oh no. Oh no, they East might not be in on the joke that in on the fact that West showed spades.
Well,
Um,
I'm still shocked that double of one heart shows spades. How does that make sense?
no, the double was alerted as undiscussed. The one hard bit showed spades. So
No, no, but
diamond,
North's double. What? It sounds
it's
like that.
undiscussed. That's undiscussed.
Okay, okay.
That's what the undiscussed thing is saying. Either way, this is a pretty chaotic start into the bidding. I don't really know who knows what's going on at this point. East
Well,
decided to bow out.
it feels like East West have landed on their feet with the West two diamond call. I mean, it feels like it's going to be hard to go wrong after that.
The one concern I had was the redouble was alerted as a support oriented takeout. So East might have thought the one hard bit actually showed hearts and not spades. So that is my one concern with the entire thing. But
Oh, okay.
so maybe West might actually end up liking their hand more. I'm not honestly sure how that affects the valuation of the West hand, but West did well to pass. East will probably lead a no. East might lead a spade or they might lead a club. What do you reckon?
Well, if they figure out that partner has spades, then lead a singleton possibly. But although King Queen Jack 10 looks pretty attractive too.
It's hard to reject that as an opening late, but singletons are.
Yeah, but one downside of this method of the one dime opening is that they were not able to get to 3 diamonds with their 9 card fit because neither of them knows how big their fit is.
Yep. David has pointed out in the chat. It feels like all four hands have tried to bid hearts naturally over here. Yeah, actually, I do agree. North tried to show hearts. West was the only person who did not try to show hearts. I think in the bidding, as it were.
No,
And they
North bid
they
two
would have
hearts.
they would have if they had a chance too. They would have gotten in mid hearts, but
Yeah.
Oh, West, yeah.
So it looks like they won a spade, then they played a heart to the ace of clubs, and they're playing another club.
Yeah, it's unclear what they're going for. They might be just trying to scramble some tricks at this point.
Maybe either way, this is going to go down. I think at this point, if they cash 2 diamonds, cash the king of spades, give a spade rough, king of clubs, queen of clubs, like this is going down to 2 or 3. If I had to
I
guess,
think West has not figured out what's going on in spades because they didn't try to give her spade rough. The 5 looks like the 5 could be a lot of different holdings.
yeah, it could. I mean, the double might have been double might have confused. The redouble, maybe West might have thought East actually has spades, so I can understand the confusion. West might be on a completely different page of what North has actually.
Well, so it's at least down. They've taken 4 tricks. They have at least 3 more.
what's going on at the other table on this one? I'm sorry.
No,
What is
you're
happening?
good. Who was dealer? Let's start with that. East, a diamond, double, 2 diamonds, alerted. So Western chose not to bet a spade. More on that in a moment. Double by North, probably takeout oriented. 3 diamonds, 3 spades, 4 diamonds. Wait,
4
what's the
diamonds
final?
is so greedy.
3 spades, 4 diamonds. So what is your what was the alert of 2 diamonds? Sorry, could you show that again? 6 to 10. What is your thoughts of West choosing 2 diamonds over a spade? And remember, this East West is playing a 2 over 1 system, not a precision system.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't like that.
you could still have a 4 for fit, although it's
Yeah.
less likely when self doubles. So, I would bid
I
spade, but you do have 5 diamond card support, so it's not like awful. I think to raise and show some values.
I often have sympathy in this sort of 2 over 1 context for hiding a 4 card major, especially weak. Like, I'm just going to raise partner, forget the 4 card major. But this doesn't really feel like the right hand for me to do that. Like, if partner has spades, they could have like a 12 count and we're just cold for game with some double fit, and I've got the singleton club. So it seems like it imps red, quite a gamble bidding diamond, just emphasizing the diamonds here. Um, when even over a double, it just feels pretty scary to me.
Yeah.
Well, you do talk to your opponents into competing 3 spades, at which point I would feel really happy to defend with my super strong spade holding. So it definitely
Yeah,
feels wrong to be bidding 4 dimes over 3 spades when you have such good trumps against them.
that's why I was saying
Oh.
4 diamonds just feels like a very greedy call to me. I mean, we had them where we wanted them, and it feels almost like it was trying to like coax out some 4 spade bid or something like that. Feels very speculative.
The good news is they're about to go plus as long as they drop the Queen of Diamonds, and they'll actually gain an imp for their efforts.
They might not because self-made takes out double, so they
Oh, they might be play.
they may well place self to singleton diamond for the takeout double, and they did.
And you called it. So now they just need to cash the ace of clubs, or they can actually play anything at this point, and it's still down. The
Well,
hard trick, the
except
club
for
is not going anywhere.
low club, which they're not going to do. But yeah,
I would be surprised if that was the choice. I agree. I do not know about this because there is a world in which East still has King Jack of Hearts,
yeah, you
or
might
maybe North give count.
maybe not. But at any rate, this time it was not going away.
Yeah.
So going down instead of probably down 2 or 3 in 3 spades is pretty costly.
So that's 5 imps for Yeung. So now Yeung takes the 5 imp lead back. It was level after the missed slam. So it looks like we're in 5 diamonds. They're going to lose 2 diamonds immediately off the bat. They have a club loser, which they also have a heart loser.
Well,
It
it
is-
looks doesn't five. Oh wait,
Yeah, there's a bit of a problem here.
there's
I
some
mean, like
problems
also
here.
there's a club rough also available at this point right now.
or just a jack of clubs catching as well.
That too. In fact, Jack
Yeah,
of clubs and a club over and a club. The 3 of diamonds. Notice that West chose to play the 7 of diamonds and then the 6 of diamonds. Sorry, East chose to play the 7 and then the 6 of diamonds. The 4 of diamonds is going to be the 3 of diamonds.
and the lesson to learn here is if you can avoid playing the 7 of diamonds, you should do it. That's the lesson here.
Is that the lesson? To avoid the 7
Yeah,
of
I think
diamonds in
so. Yeah,
particular?
yeah.
Are you sure it's something else about preserving high spots?
If it's trumps, it doesn't count anyways for declare. But yeah,
Yeah.
and you do get
and
the rough. Yep.
like we called it.
Can we see
I do
this
not know
auction
about
real
the.
fast? Like, we
Yeah,
don't
we
have
see it
to,
on the.
but
We
I'm
can see it on the
curious.
top left. Three
Oh, I
clubs
got it.
double
I got
past
it.
four
Okay, okay,
diamonds,
okay.
5 diamonds. I think it's. I can understand the auction.
I
I mean,
love.
East sort of
I
felt
kind of.
like they had values.
I like the spirited 3 clubs call. I think that's just a good bid.
It's a good bid. It's first chair. It's a sound 3 clubs. I mean, the club suit could be better, but you have a good hand. And hey, preempts work. There you go. East felt they had to bid 4 diamonds to show their values, and West felt like they had to accept it with 3 card support and a pretty control heavy hand and a side 5 card suit which could have play, and 5 diamonds had no play on this live cards. So how much was it down? I missed that.
It was 3,
It was
right?
down. It was down 2, I think they
Oh,
said.
it's down 2. Sorry, my fault.
They lost 2 diamonds, the overruff, and
And a jack of clubs.
the jack of clubs. Thank you. So yeah, down 2. So we are getting a 14-16 no trump by West, and
What
East is going to transfer to some number of spades if North does not. If North passes it.
what do y'all think of opening this 1 no trump, especially in a precision context? I love just opening a heart here, playing precision.
I would love to hear your reasoning about that.
I mean, 5 card and 2/1 5 card majors being 1 no trump is standard, like largely because of just nasty rebid issues that you run into playing a wide ranging 1 major. So for me, if I can just open 1 heart and show 5 hearts immediately, I'll always choose to do that in a precision context. And I don't like having 5 card majors and 1 no trump, even playing strong 1 no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would be in a big minority with that view.
Yeah.
Because like you said, there's often a rebid problem. If you open one with major and over a lot of different responses, you will have a rebid problem. So most people will decide to just open 1 trump and get their values off the chest, which is otherwise
Yeah.
too hard to show.
Yeah, I also play in a precision context unusual like responses over 1 major, so that could be part of the bias here.
So 2 diamond looks like it's just natural because it's not alerted. Might be
Yeah.
one of the few pairs who are playing natural 2 diamonds over 1 trump.
Yeah, we saw
That's
they're
what you
having a
have.
natural defense over a strong club. Why would they not have a natural defense over a no trump?
Well, it works
Let
well
me
because
check.
Alpha is able to bid 3 no, which seems like
It seems cold. It seems very cold.
it seems like it's going to make.
I was trying to figure out if this was going to make. I was first trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with the south hand, and 3 no trump is going to work fantastic over here.
Yeah, you're
I
figuring
mean,
partner has 6 diamonds. I mean, partner didn't have the king this time, so, but otherwise you're going to have probably six or more diamond tricks to heart
Yeah.
tricks. That's already 8 tricks, and now just need one more
So
somewhere. So it
now
seems like
what does
very
West
very odds.
lead? Now what do you lead as West over here? Because you're expecting the spades are like you have ace to spades, but over here, like my immediate thought would be like South probably has like really good spade stoppers, or they just sort of have a lot of tricks ready to go once they get in.
The first thing I'm thinking is West is that I'm nervous. The second thing I'm doing is I'm probably leading a heart.
And
I
and
think the
now
hard lead is
it gives them a guess because do you pull up the 10, hoping that West has a queen jack, or do you play low and East has having one put up a 10?
Do you know
There
what
you go.
the correct play is? I mean, do you want to tell the viewers in chat what the correct play is in isolation?
Well, I mean, so the 10 will gain a trick immediately if it's queen jack. Um, if West started with queen 9 or jack 9, then you might want to play low because then East will play the jack or queen and then you win the ace, and now you still have another stopper. So it does not win the trick directly, but you're thinking that you could keep East off lead to lead through your remaining stopper. So honestly, he probably did not take the percentage line here, but it definitely worked because now you have enough stoppers um, to knock out the ace of clubs in addition to the diamond king. So well guessed, because if you play low and goes 9, then West will get on twice to set up and run their hearts. So well done. However they did it,
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to them.
and then they drop the ace, drops king of diamonds. I think that was also a reasonable attempt, given that West has most of the points. Um, Although they might not open 1-0 with singleton king, but it's worth trying.
It's true. It's the junior trolls. I just wanted to remind you that anything goes when it comes to opening no trump. I've
So
seen stiff
they could
kings,
have
stiff
they could have
queens.
king with king. If that's more likely than king onside, then go for it.
Yeah, this spade play is basically resigning at this point.
I feel like the biggest highlight of this hand is just the 3 Trump bid by South.
It's a
I love
fantastic call.
that
Well
bid.
done.
Love
Well
it.
done by
Yeah.
Chris.
Yep. Sometimes for no trump, you just need tricks and not necessarily points. So
It would be
now we
And
funny
run.
if they it'd be funny if they block the diamonds with the 7 of diamonds.
oh no, do not say that. Don't say that.
Well, actually, now you should because it can win the last trick for sure. Because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
self
You could have beard. He could have claimed a beer.
you do claim beer because self hand is actually high. You have like
He
all
did
the
not say
winners.
beer in the he did not say beer in the claim message.
Yeah, I was sure when I played in USBF last time that when I beer carded, I made sure that was clear in the claim in the text.
I remember. That's why I called it out.
So meanwhile on the other table, East just forced to four spades, which honestly
Uh,
has something going for it because you do have a 7 card suit. Um, I mean this time things are not breaking well at all. Um, it might have worked as a
Oh, damn. I
as
was
a
thinking it had more
preempt
play, but
though.
of course it has absolutely no play at all.
Yeah, maybe that was intended as a preempt, but Self was able to double. Um,
so what's the best defense? A hard lead, club through. Club lead gives him a club trick. So you're gonna lose one club, one diamond, two hearts, and two spades. How many tricks did I say? That's
I think
six
it's down.
tricks.
I
Down
think that's
three?
down three. Down three.
500. So they're actually gonna. Wow, that is quite sad because I think, like you said, four hearts is a very practical bid. Just trying to get to four spades. I mean, it can go down two. It can go down three easily. Like if you get the wrong, if you give partner has the wrong hand, but it could also easily make on the right day. And it's really hard to gauge whether it will make or not, like scientifically. So just sort of gambling. But this happened to be one of the few times that South just has like a really reasonable double with King Jack 10 of trumps and a bunch of other aces and kings here and there. And it's kind of sad because Chris made a fantastic bid at the other table, but he's going to lose Imps for that, assuming that North South have a perfect defense.
Well, I mean, looks like it's going to go down 4 because actually East took the ace of clubs on the club lead. Well, actually, no, East
No, they're
South
just look at the jack of clubs.
I think South led the. Oh, sorry, King. Oh, sorry. It
North
was
was
50.
only. North was only. They let the
No,
king
South,
of
no, South.
clubs.
Okay, okay, yeah. So then you just lose your 6 tricks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and South can sort of just cash out at this point. I assume we're going to see King of Hearts and Ace of Hearts very shortly.
right. Looking at that dummy, it's easy to just cash the tricks that are going to cash.
Yep. One of the few times when it's like it would be better to have like the weak hand declare after a no trump opening rather than the strong hand. Because looking at the East end, like the defense sort of it's sort of like very clear how to defend. You just sort of cash your tricks in the right order. Whereas it may not be as clear if it were the other way around.
But West only did give you the King of Clubs lead, which did help.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I know
it
that
kind of
lead it's down
evened
three.
out. Yeah,
Like on the best defense, which might be a hard lead and then a club through, like it would get much uglier.
I think you might need to lead a club trick 1 because
No, I'm saying no.
otherwise.
If with West declaring it, not with East declaring it. With East
Oh yeah,
declaring it,
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
In fact, if West declaring, I don't know if you can get for down 4 because
Probably not, right? Because a hard through, then a club through. Now, if they play a hard, your hearts are set up. If they play a
yeah.
diamond, your diamond pitch is set up. So maybe it doesn't matter because North
So
doesn't
so I
have a
think
spade to play.
So I think by West is always down at most down 3. By
Yeah,
East on Club League you could get down 4.
correct.
Yeah.
This is a rich hand. It looks like at the other table we have four hearts in the north. I unfortunately did not catch the auction, but what are they losing? They're this is probably a flat hand, or like not going to see much over here. You're not going to reach six hearts. You're probably going to reach four hearts, given that it's a really good hand opposite like a nine count.
What do people like opening with the north hand?
One heart. That is even in a precision context, if you were wondering, because it's sort of like what we were talking about earlier, right? With the whole, we don't really like upgrading these kind of trick taking major hands into one club that often. If we anticipate there might be a lot of competition, and when we hold seven hearts, it feels like there's going to be at least one or two other hands with some reasonable shape that might want to interfere. So,
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking of like 1 versus 4 hearts.
ah,
Like white on red first, just like jam.
Yeah, it's certainly reasonable because you're often worried that the opponents can be 4 spades. I mean that might be kind of
The
part of
king
your
of
style.
spades. The king of spades is one reason to maybe not do that.
Well, I mean
maybe.
I would say maybe a bigger reason on this hand is that it has enough slam potential that you will not get to slam if you open 4.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with that.
5
I
controls is
must
a lot.
I must admit that one of the things I struggle the most with is knowing when to open one of a major versus four of a major, especially when vulnerable. Because I look at a hand and I'm like, I have an opening hand, I want to open one, but then I might look at it again and be like, maybe I should open four, and then I sort of struggle with myself. This is a hand where I feel like non-vulnerable. I would easily just open a heart. Four hearts would be much worse hand than this.
Yeah, that's very
Um,
fair.
at least in terms of
What
slam potential.
1 heart is my style too, just to be clear, but sometimes I think I should just bid 4 more. It's hard to
Yeah.
like find the balance.
Speaking of bidding four or more, I thought East actually had an interesting decision after the four hearts bid. Partner recalled two spades vulnerable after the opponents opened and responded. And here you are sitting with three card support, a stiff in the enemy suit, and you have ace queen jack fifth in your own side suit. What do you think about East's decision to pass four hearts?
I think I do the same thing. I don't know. I there's definitely an argument for 4 spades for sure.
Yeah, there's pretty big variance depending on what you think the 2 spade and 4 hearts are. Like, can 4 hearts be just a shapely hand, or is it like a power hand? Um, and also part of 2 spade style, like how aggressive they are. I think that um, if you're aggressive in being 2 spades on this
Oh
spot,
no.
then you might need
Wait,
to.
what is happening? Oh, sorry, four hearts. Oh, we were playing four hearts. I thought we were playing four spades the entire time, and I was so confused.
Oh, yeah.
Ignore me.
Yeah, I think it's close. I mean, if two space is relatively conservative, then I think you might very well raise. I mean, this time West has a ton of wastage and hearts, and I think it's still just down two. So actually, it may well be percentage to bid four spades, even
I
run
was
away.
thinking I would have bid four spades myself, and I
Yeah, I
wouldn't
think I
feel
would bid
bad
four. I
about
think I
winning
would bid
ace
four
ten.
spades. Yeah, I have a single heart, three spades, and some values.
Like your own trick source, not even just like a random seven count. Ace queen jack fifth. A lot of
Yeah.
action at the other table. Can we swap while this is playing out? Cyrus, can we swap to the other table? So let's take a look at this. So East opened a strong club. West responded a diamond negative. North doubled, probably intending it as a takeout. I guess they were planning to show a power double given what we've seen. Redouble, West bid a spade, then they bid two spades, and they competed twice. I I think East West did not do a great job here. I feel like someone should have competed the three spades. They have a 10 card fit.
Well, it would be East because West did all they could. They already showed a negative hand, and they bid twice, um, voluntarily. Or I guess the one spade is not voluntary, but the two spade is. And East does have three card support and stiff, so it feels like East probably should be bidding. Um, Although it looks like it's down one anyways, three spades, so it's not really a big
Yeah.
loss.
And also, five clubs is making with the king of clubs dropping. And you have to guess the queen of hearts, but it's very reasonable that North gets both of that correct given the one club and one diamond bids. Especially now that the king of spades has popped up. And like just like that, the ace of clubs, pop goes the king. And I think it's very reasonable to assume that you actually can get it. So there is actually a way to guarantee the contract. Li-Chung, do you want to point it out for the viewers in chat?
Um, there is. Let me look at
Yeah,
it.
play club over. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going to rough a spade now. They're not going to rough a spade now, but they could have roughed a spade and then
Oh,
exited a diamond.
oh, oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's like it's an
Yes,
elimination
that will
play.
work.
Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah. It's a funny elimination play, but it will work. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Okay, since
And
you want me to explain it, so yeah, so if you rough a spade to eliminate the spade suit and now exit the diamond, then East will win, and now they have no good options. If they play heart, that gives you the finesse. If they lead a high diamond, that gives you the diamond suit. And if they lead a spade, you can rough and dummy and pitch a heart in hand. So that's why you rough the spade so that when they lead a spade, you get this rough and stuff.
this sort of pattern comes up just constantly once you see it. So I think
absolutely.
it's one of the best things. Like elimination plays are like they don't come up that often, but this sort of pattern with Trump and just roughing one comes up so often.
I
Yeah,
agree.
when you have excess trumps in both hands, you often just eliminate just out of principle because something good might happen and it doesn't really cost you. So
So
often that was the default play.
it looks like this is the final table. This is the final board. Yeung is trailing by six imps, of course. If they're able to bid the five clubs, they'll win the match. Otherwise, it's probably going to be a tie, probably going to be a loss and a win for Team Brezak.
So North decided to
Um,
treat this as a very strong hand by doubling and then bidding three diamonds. I
yep.
would think that if you double them by three clubs, you might already show quite a bit. Although it might just be 4-6, honestly, I'm not sure. But he decided to bid it as a very strong hand, um, which I'm not sure I agree with. But that might get into 4-5 clubs this time. It might.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the South. So when I see the sequence where North is doubling, like you mentioned, they could have bid three clubs after the double to show a power double. When they bid three diamonds first and then they bid four clubs, to me as South, that looks like they have a hand that was planned to open two clubs in a standard context, right? So they're like having an 8.5 nine trick hand on their own. They just basically need like a fragment for game. And looking at King
Oh,
Jack third of hearts and three card support, I think that's a fragment. I would absolutely bid five clubs with South this
North
hand.
North North did a great job communicating their hand on this.
I I don't know if I agree with their bids, like Li-Chung pointed out, but it certainly did a lot to help South bid 5 clubs. But South evaluated pass. I mean, single dummy. It's not the greatest game, but
That's true.
even double dummy, like you're supposed to drop the king of clubs, you have to get the queen of hearts. It's not clear at all that you're supposed to get that correct. With West having slightly bit differently at this table, with like you don't have the inference of of a precision one diamond response to a strong club where they've shown like less than 6 points and they've suddenly popped, and you know the other person has 16 or more points. So
We
um,
didn't talk about it at the other table, but I mean, what do we? I wouldn't have opened the East hand a precision one club personally. Like with this, I mean, you have a 16 count with a singleton king, like whatever.
Uh,
Like
I would not. If there are other precision players in this feed who have this hand, I would not be surprised to see some of them open a no trip and treat it like a balanced hand. I do think opening a diamond is a very reasonable call. Might even just be the percentage call. Um, I agree that opening a strong club it never feels great with a stiff king and when you're a minimum just based on the points and shape.
this has been an exciting first round. We've had some good boards.
So they do not have the same opportunity for the end play because East cash 2 diamonds, so there's no way to put them in.
Mhm.
Um, but they're in 4, so they're thinking about making 4, which seems like they might be thinking about the finesse. Nope, they just dropped the king. All right, but like
I'm wondering. No, the thing
they're
is,
not.
there was a 2 diamond bid, so maybe they might have been envisioning something like Ace of Clubs. Oh no, that loses. So like if they think East has the King of Clubs and not King Third of Clubs, they might have been envisioning something like maybe cash Ace of Clubs, play a heart to the King, rough a spade, and then exit a club and hope East has to win with the King Doubleton, um and then like we mentioned, they only like given the 2 diamonds call, we know they have on the Queen of Diamonds and Diamond Lens, so they're either end played and they only have diamonds. They have to give a rough and slough, or they have to play into Ace 10 of Hearts. Well, Jack is
Yeah,
also a dummy.
yeah,
That's a
that would
nice.
definitely that
That's
would
a
definitely
nice
work.
line. That's a very
That might
nice
they
line.
might have been envisioning Zax, but maybe West might have King Doubleton of clubs. It's not at all clear to me that that is correct. Like there's some like you should like the question should be like, why did East choose to rebid 2 diamonds? Like technically that shows 12 to 14 points. They might have even denied 3 spades doing that in a normal context, given the lack of a support redouble, which is actually what I would have done with the actual hand in context.
And
So
now they actually squeeze East out of the guard for the queen. So
oh yeah, I saw that. That is really nicely done. Well done.
so they ran all the trumps, which was good technique, and play for a squeeze, and East was duly
And
squeezed.
it looks like this match is now over. So this is another push board. Just a reminder for everyone in chat, these are 10 board matches. So it looks like Team Brezak wins against Team Yeung by 6 cents. Congratulations to them. And it looks like, per the overall standings, Team Klesnik and Team One are at the top, 20 VPs and 19.66. Team Chen, Team Brezak, of course, with wins. Team Chen also having a solid win. Team Zheng, of course, had the sit out. Team Young losing to Team Brezak. Team Yang losing to Team Chen. Team Eckert losing to Team One, and Team Jiang losing to Team Kolesnik. So with that, it looks like all the bridge is complete. So we'll be just taking a short break for maybe 5 minutes. So stay tuned, more bridge to come.
and remember that remember that the next couple rounds are going to be delayed due to USBF technical issues, so it'll probably be more like 20 minutes until we're
Oh,
back.
20 minutes.
So we'll have one match at 7:50 Eastern, and another match at 9:10 Eastern or so.
One more match today, asks David. No, there are 2 more matches today.
Do we know when the next match will start?
It should be
Uh,
about 20 minutes. Yep,
that
it
is
looks
on
like on
Viewgraph, right?
yep, and it looks like on Love Bridge it is confirmed we'll be starting in about 20 minutes for that next match.
Who is in Twitch chat? I'm just curious.
Who do we have in Twitch chat? Well, we have a lot of we have some anonymous viewers probably who are watching on Lovebridge, but also we have. We have a reasonable squad. Some Georgia Tech people, some junior mentors, some people from Discord. I'm not going to dox people if that's what you're asking me to do. I'm not going
Hey,
to dox our
okay.
viewers.
I guess I'll
I
have
can
to do it
answer
myself
that.
then.
I can dox. I can tell you privately later. But either ways, stay tuned. We'll have more content coming up in around 15 minutes or